Story 1. This is an update to the third story title. Husband dying of cancer caught his wife on camera cheating with business partner. Got a terminal illness diagnosis and found out my SO was cheating when I came home early. Terminal illness. Significant other caught in action. First, I want to thank you all for your support. It really has helped. I have read all of your comments, and it has given me a lot to think about. I am going to provide some general information to help clarify my situation. Sarah and I were very young when we had the twins. They were a surprise, but always wanted. So, the twins are in their 40s and the grandkids are all teens and older. Christmas is a week-long affair every year. We spend Christmas through New Year on the farm. We go cut down a tree after everyone arrives. We decorate, cook, play, and celebrate as a family. Sarah and Steve have been a part of this tradition since I bought the farm. I remain steadfast in not telling anyone until after the new year. If I told Sarah, she would not be able to keep it in. I don't want to place Steve in a position to lie to his wife. I want the kids and grandkids to enjoy the week. We will have plenty of time to cry and prepare in a few weeks. Jane's presence this week will just be a small detail in the long run. Really, I don't care about her anywhere near the rest of the family. The finances are very interesting. Jane and I met and were married after we both were very established in our jobs and wealth. She had a good job with a great pension. She also had 2 inheritances that were in a trust. We agreed early on that we were both comfortable, and we would not disclose to each other our entire worth by her insistence. We also have a prenup where any property or trust that predates the marriage and any income from those resources are not considered marital property. Again, at her insistence. Now I have provided both properties. I purchased the travel, food, and fuel. Basically, I support her 100%. Her income and wealth are spent by her on herself. She purchased her car, clothes, personal travel, and cosmetic surgery. She is a very beautiful woman on the outside, but has shown she's very ugly inside. A few days after I got my diagnosis, I announced my retirement from the nonprofit. Now, knowing what I know, I noticed Jane was a bit uncomfortable. I can guess why. I will be around more often, so tomorrow is my last day of work. Now, I will be focusing on spending time with the family. I gave the camera server info to my lawyer and gave him access from his office. So I don't know if they had any activities again, but I would assume yes. Again, I don't care at this point. I know who I am and what my worth is, and AP is a big step down. As flashy as AP is, I am low-key. I drive a 15-year-old pickup truck. I like jeans and t-shirts and coveralls in the winter. I know for a fact that AP does not have anywhere near the same values as me. I do not have anywhere near the wealth that Jane thinks I do. Tao. Since the trust has invested in my business, I receive quarterly financial statements. I do not disclose the exact amount I have, as that is between my accountants and myself. However, I can say that the trust has been steadily growing for 30 years. I live a modest life, and there is enough in the trust for my great-great-grandchildren to enjoy the farm and have their education paid for. Once Jane realizes what she has lost, it will be her reckoning. I simply will not witness it. December was a busy month. We attended our usual social events on the weekends. AP was at one of the parties. It was difficult not to keep an eye on Jane and him. I do not believe I was caught. With the busyness of wrapping up work, I have found it easier to keep myself together. Jane has not expressed anything. That would lead me to believe she knows what I know. I am not proud of this, but I still sleep in the same bed. I have been selfish with her lately. I feel as though I am using her, but it seems she has been using me for most of this year. I am not as honorable as some of you may think. I despise this small amount of deceit, so do not worry about Jane receiving everything, as she will not. The trust is in capable hands, and I have provided detailed instructions on how it is to be managed. Thanks to your comments, I have made plans in case my health declines sooner than expected, or if I pass away unexpectedly. I have also made arrangements for in-home care when it is needed. Jane will not be my caregiver. If I become incapacitated, my lawyer will inform Sarah, Steve, and the children. Jane will be blocked from contacting me. All important documents, valuables, and other items have been moved to a secure location. Additionally, I have started writing letters to each family member. This has been more challenging than I anticipated. I wanted to update all of you before the holiday festivities begin. I may check in during the holiday week, but if I do not, it is planned and expected. Thank you all again. I am organizing my affairs. Story 2, does almost cheating count? I am a 36-year-old man, and my wife is 35. We relocated to a new state for a job transfer and lower cost of living. We were both excited and had goals of starting a new life, making friends, and providing stability for our young children. However, the pandemic hit, and we became close with our neighbors, often spending time at each other's homes. One couple went through a quick divorce, and the wife moved away. However, the remaining couple, who lived next door, frequently hung out at the husband's house. He was an excellent cook and had a beautiful backyard. One night, while smoking cigars with my neighbor, whom I will refer to as Jim, and one of his military friends, they began sharing stories about sleeping with married women on base. I felt uncomfortable and made an excuse to leave. This raised my suspicions because Jim and my wife would text each other and make plans to hang out. My wife also asked about Jim's love life. Whether it was right or wrong, I started snooping. However, I did not find anything on her phone or emails, so I stopped. Over a year later, my wife found religion and asked me to stop spending time with Jim because he did not lead a clean life. I agreed because she was right. Jim wasn't the best influence. My wife went on a trip with her high school friends, which I was happy to pay for because our plans on making friends didn't really work out. During her trip, I found a diary entry in which she expressed her attraction to this guy. She didn't care about the potential fallout of making a move on him. The entry was dated back to when we all started hanging out. Still, I confronted her about this because of all the signs. She said nothing happened. Then I found pictures of his genitals on her phone and a text that read, "My husband will be out of town next week. Will you be around?" I confronted her again and she claimed it was over and that she wasn't going through with it. Mind you, I was going out of town for a close family member's funeral. I started recording her while I was away. She confessed that she didn't cheat, but was planning to. She apologized and tried to make up for it. However, she went back to barely showing any affection and her normal moody behavior. Is it considered cheating if she didn't actually go through with it and only stopped because I confronted her 5 to 7 days before she was planning to? She told me to move on and that it was only virtual. She is cold every time I bring up the subject. I feel like I can move on, but not that fast. Does almost cheating count? Read your comment. It's one thing to have thoughts about an attractive man and even write them in your diary. I don't object to that. It's another thing to have explicit photos and actual plans to meet up with him. I suspect that they probably did meet up at least once. I would suggest getting an STD test and considering if you want to stay with your wife. She doesn't seem like a pleasant person in general, and if she's already at the point of exchanging explicit photos and making plans, she will likely follow through with cheating at some point. My guess is that she suddenly became religious after she cheated. It's common for people to use religion as a way to justify their actions. Talk to a lawyer and consider your options. I wouldn't want to be with someone I feel this way about, and she doesn't seem very remorseful. Have you noticed any red flags with her in the past that you may have ignored? Be prepared, son. The original poster started seeing red flags during the first summer of the pandemic. They stopped when I took in her sick mother and started again when her mother moved in with her brother. Before the pandemic and the 15 years prior, she never lied or did anything shady. She used to be a rule follower. I think she got tired of being a good girl when her mother got sick. Who knows? Read her comment. It's not uncommon for someone to get tired of always being the good girl. Their worldview is that they give their all to everyone else, but never receive anything in return. Then along comes a guy who pays attention to them, not necessarily in an obvious way, but enough to start an emotional connection. These guys often target married women because they only have to compete with one other person, the husband. Suddenly, the fantasies start and the guy becomes more attractive, pushing the boundaries more and more. The woman justifies each boundary being crossed, and when the opportunity arises, the emotional affair becomes physical. While she's fantasizing about this new connection, she's trading no-strings-attached sex to keep the attention and validation going. And NSA sex is the kind where she does things for a P that she won't with her husband. Original poster. This is the most spot-on comment yet. Yes, that's exactly it. Totally in line with what I read in their text transcripts and the progressive line crossing. Thank you for the validation as well. It doesn't even matter if she actually had sex with him or not. She wanted to. She planned to. She wrote about not even caring if she got caught. She flirted and gladly received explicit photos. That is enough of a breach of trust. That is indeed cheating. Full stop, but I'll bet she already had sex with him. And she's trickle-truthing you. And if not him, it would be someone else. Bank on that. I'm sorry, original poster. Someone please explain trickle-truth. I did enough snooping to see that she hasn't been physical yet. Though I think now that she is caught up and I accused her of being physical, there is a higher chance of her getting physical with him or some other guy. She hates him now because of what he did after I caught and confronted him. I'm African American and calling the cops is life-threatening, but I have a feeling she's going to get physical with someone else. I don't want to go on a rant, but I know her very well. Story 3. It's been a month since she blindsided, discarded, shamed, and left me for a guy she met and has only known for a few days from her business trip. We were together and lived together for over 4 years. We had adopted a puppy together in September that I can't see anymore. She didn't communicate anything at all to me about how she truly felt. On the day of the breakup, she said she wanted to find someone new to learn from, while she told some mutual friends that she had lost patience. I found out from going through her messages that a couple of hours before the breakup, she made fun of me and sent a video of the guy she became attracted to from her business trip to her close friend. I've been wondering, if I hadn't gone through her messages, would I have just kept beating myself up? She wanted to live like a princess when we first moved in, paying $2,000 a month for a condo. My job was paying less than $30,000 a year, and I had to pick up a second, different job to stay afloat. She was living off her parents' money. I cooked and cleaned for her every day and took physical abuse from her whenever she got angry. Many of our mutual friends would tell me how I did all the heavy lifting in the relationship. We became common law, and I had helped her get permanent residence this year as well. When she changed careers this year and landed a high-paying job, she declared that she got to this point of success and independence all on her own. Yet little does she realize she's had so many people help her with interviews, building connections, networking, and emotional support from her friends and me. Now I'm alone, 4 years with nothing to show other than marks from being stepped on all over, rock bottom at the lowest point in life. Had I not been getting treatment, I would have offed myself weeks ago. Hopefully, if anyone reads this, you'll acknowledge the red flags, set boundaries, communicate, and take action early to avoid being in this kind of situation. Happy holidays. Read or comment. You are better off without someone like that in your life. Do yourself a favor, go completely no contact, block her on social media, and block her number. If she tries to reach out to you, ignore it. And above all, don't reach out to her. Count yourself lucky that the only thing you wasted was time. It could have been much worse. Find yourself a new partner and carry on with your life, living it for yourself, and stop dwelling on her drama and toxicity. She's gone from your life, and good riddance. Original poster, thank you for the support. I'm really glad that we didn't end up getting married, as I've read many devastating stories involving ownership of property and legal fees. I've removed all my social media for the time being to heal, better myself, and not check up on her. Here's to a new and thriving year for both of us. Reader comment, you said you got a common law, that is, married. You might want to look into that so you don't get stuck paying for someone else's child. Some states assume the spouse is the father and don't take no for an answer. Original poster, the definition of common law here in Canada is a bit different from the States. In my province, it only applies after you've lived with your partner for 3 years and does not have to be a married relationship, but a conjugal one. Reader comment sounds like my ex, 4 years too. My fault. I said I wanted to show her the world and treat her like a princess. I delivered on my promises. 10 holidays, big house, new car, designer bags and shoes. Also all the love, attention, intimacy, time, listening, and support that anyone would expect to receive. I'm completely lost in where it went wrong. What could I have done differently? I want to snap out of this thinking and realize it's not my fault. Then I get scared as to how people can be so cold, calculated, and horrible. She seemed like a banshee when she got frustrated. She genuinely seemed happy until the last month when she decided to monkey branch as the timing was right. F me clinical. She still sends me the odd meme as I have her cat. Absolutely nuts. Booked into therapy next week. Can't wrap my head around it all. A month has passed, and I just found out she had been cheating with someone I noticed 7 months prior. They're out there, bro. They're horrible. Take your time to heal. Take your time with the next partner. Spot the selfish, self-absorbed signs. I think you'll know they were there. You knew this could happen. We don't want to believe it, though, because they're devastatingly good at showing another amazing side. It's all fake, though. You've escaped. Original poster, I'm sorry to hear that you went through this. 4 years, and you really gave her everything just to get monkey branched and cheated on. It's so incredibly cruel. I hope your healing journey goes well. I'm learning to read people better through actions rather than words. In a way, we both escaped. May we pick ourselves up and spot the signs before it's too late again. Cheers.